A big move for Liverpool on the cards at the closing of the transfer window. We're going to delve into that in more details. Plus, Camavinga to Arsenal was a story that has reared its head today. Man United, will they be signing a midfielder after Michael Carrick's comments? Plus, we look at Mateta and Lookman and why we must objectively view transfers in a particular way. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Get that bell notification button turned on as well. Let's do this. Liverpool had a record-breaking summer in terms of transfers. And I think due to a combination of things, one being that the system change, we haven't yet seen the fruits of that labor. We haven't yet seen the total quality of those players come together yet. But I still think they primarily signed some very good players. Now, the story today from DiMarzio is that Liverpool have asked Inter Milan for information about Dumfries, Denzel Dumfries, who has been a right, he played on the wing, but predominantly a right wing back that has over the years generated a lot of interest from a lot of clubs. With the injury problems in that area for Liverpool, it does now appear that Liverpool might be trying to make a move for this man. But I can't lie, this would be a shocker. Why would it be a shocker, you ask? He's been injured since November. Hasn't played or featured. He's had ankle problems. He's had ankle surgery, and he has been out for a while. I personally, maybe I should actually research this before making a video. But looking at, how long's Frimpong even out for? Genuinely, is he out for a while? You guys will let me know in the comment section. Oh, here's an injury update. What does it say here? Positive. Provided a positive update regarding Frimpong and comments. So he's not going to be out for too long if it's a positive update. So I just don't get this link. This link is weird. Dumfries is not better than Frimpong. He's a good player, but he ain't better than Frimpong, but he's out injured. I think Connor Bradley is a talent. Why would they do this, Liverpool? Makes absolutely no sense. I don't even know if it's true. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was a little bit of rage bait for Liverpool supporters from the mainstream media. It just feels like a very strange piece of business, a very strange claim indeed. And I'd love to get your views on that. I'd love to get your views on it. I just don't think he's right for Liverpool. Maybe you guys see it differently. Let me know in that comment section below. Man United and Tottenham also linked to an interesting player, the Club Brugge, or Brugge, I should say. Club Brugge, we say in England, but Club Brugge midfielder, Alexander Stankovic. And a lot of people are excited about this. And I like this player. Club Brugge, if you actually watch them in the last few seasons in the Champions League, they're very interesting. And Stankovic plays, he's a defensive midfielder, good IQ, excellent passing range. He's got a great physical presence. And he does look like a player who would be, with his versatility, with his mentality, and more importantly, his playmaking from deep. He has a great technique. He looks like he could be a Premier League player. But this is another one of those stories that when I read it, I tread with massive caution. Because when you delve into this story, Manchester United fans, when you look at this story, Liverpool fans, Inter Milan have a £23 million buyback clause. So one is going to cost us more money than Inter, which means they can make better offers when it comes to the salary. And if a team like Man United, hopefully on the up and up, deems him as a great buy and a player that can improve our team, why are Inter Milan not going to step back into him? What do you make of him as a player? And you don't need to be a Man United fan to ask that question. You may support another team. Alexander Stankovic, what do you make of him? Is this the kind of player that could help to improve the midfield situations at Man United, at Tottenham Hotspur? Or do you think maybe there's an element of, maybe being overrated because of a couple of good performances in the Champions League? I know none of us are sitting here watching the Belgium League week in, week out. So I'd love to ascertain your opinion on this. Personally, I haven't seen enough of him to put him ahead of the Whartons and the Believers, the Stillers, the Elliot Andersons that are on Manchester United's list. So I can't sit there and make that claim. I haven't. What I've read is particularly good, but I'd love some of you that maybe watch him play more regularly to give us that education on that piece. Now, another story that I thought was very interesting today, and we spoke about it on the Football Terrace earlier on today, and that is Eduardo Camavinga. And it's a second link now in the space of 24 hours to Arsenal Football Club. And it's interesting because this comes at the same time that there are reports that there are some of the midfield players at Arsenal that are under a lot of pressure, one of them being Odegaard. But Arsenal have shown this appetite in recent years to not rest on their laurels. Arsenal have shown this appetite in recent years. It doesn't matter if we've just bought, you know, if we're getting great things out of Trossard, we've got Martinelli. It doesn't matter that we've got a striker that's scoring a lot of goals. We're going to try and add. We're always going to try and improve our squad. Defensively, they've done this probably at the best level. You know, they had a very good goalkeeper in Ramsdale, but they've gone for an elite goalkeeper in Raya. They've already got brilliant centre backs, but they've added Nkapie. They've added Mosquera. You know, they had good fullbacks, but they went out and got Timber. And it now appears, when you read these reports from Spain, that Arsenal are in a similar mode when it comes to their midfield. They want to create not just a brilliant first 11, they want a brilliant squad. It says here, Real Madrid value the midfielder at between 80 and 100 million. Liverpool, amongst others, are also viewing the Frenchman as a serious target. And this could be the summer where Real Madrid cash in to invest in other areas of the team. And I do look at this, and I've been figuring this for a while now. I don't want to see Arsenal get him. I want to see Man United get him. Okay, let me just point that out. But from a Premier League fan perspective, we have so much more money as a collective than any of the other leagues. I want to see us start yielding that power to a point where not only are we beating Madrid, beating PSGs, beating Barcelona's to signings, I want us taking their players. Because I think, it's not great if one of your rivals gets one of these players, but what it does do, it opens up the door for you to be able to do it. Because if you start bringing the talent here, the best managers here, it makes other people want to come and manage and be part of the league. So it's a real interesting one for me. Camavinga to Arsenal, what are you saying? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we end, I wanted to speak about the objectivity needed in transfers. This is more of an opinion piece within this transfer video. Mateta might now be going to AC Milan, which is certainly a step up in class, in my opinion, from Nottingham Forest. But I've also read reports today that Lookman is in the process of finalising a deal, and I've now lost the piece that said where he's going. I'm going to try and find it here. I think it's the Fenerbahce. It is. Now, I mean no disrespect to Nottingham Forest. I mean no disrespect even to AC Milan, who are nowhere near the power they used to be. And I certainly don't mean any disrespect to Fenerbahce. But when I see the Matetas and the Lookmans linked to these teams, it tells you that for all of us, and including me, I was interested in Mateta. A lot of Arsenal fans that were interested, let's bring in Lookman. I want to get your opinion on the objective truth within these matters. So if you all rate Lookman, but he stays at Atalanta until he's 33, 34, 35, and then moves to a Fenerbahce, I think you never fully get your answers. But when a player is in the peak of his powers like Mateta, when you look at Lookman, who is now 28 years of age, again, peak of his career, they're doing brilliantly at their current clubs. But when their next move is only to an AC Milan in 2026. I know they're competing for the Scudetto. I know they're competing for the league title. So that would tell you good standard, European Champions League level, top four league level. But when you see a Lookman go to a Fenerbahce for a deal that says here to be around 40 million euros, does that tell you that even if you rated him, that maybe you were wrong? For instance, I rate Elliot Anderson. But if in the summer no one buys him, and then the following year he leaves Nottingham Forest and he's signed by Stuttgart, or he's signed by Benfica, or he's signed by Galatasaray, I think it makes me wrong, because I think he's got the ability to be an elite player. And whether I'm wrong about the talent or his fulfillment of that talent, I don't really think it matters. I'm not going to split hairs and play semantics on that. But what do you make of that? Because for me, I've always long felt that we can debate and argue about players until we're blue in the face. But there has to come a point where we look for something to be the objective truth of that scenario. And for me, when I saw Lookman, listen, good luck to Lookman, decent player. I hope he smashes it in Turkey. Same for Mateta if he goes to AC Milan. But I do look at it and think a lot of us kick off at our clubs. Lookman's a baller, bring him in. Mateta's the guy who can lead our front line. And then you look at the clubs that actually end up signing these players. Doesn't part of you think maybe there's a reason? Osimhen is another. Now, I rated him. I was very happy for Man United to sign him. I think Chelsea should have brought him in. Subjectively, I rate him. But if he spends the rest of his career where he is and no big club in no big league ever says you're the man, am I just wrong to rate him to the level that I do? I'd love to ascertain your opinion on that. Can't wait to read it below. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you soon. Peace.